Many of us have intentions to do something worthwhile. Some people, though, do more than just think about them. Ray Summers knows such a lady.
Lee Cole knits. Whenever she has a moment, knitting needles are in her hands.
Doctor's offices, you know, dentist offices, social gatherings. Television's a great knitter, great to knit to.
When she and her husband travel, she knits. This year, she has knit hats. It began a year ago watching television, something about the nation's homeless.
The fellows were standing out, you know, in the background, you could see the homeless. And most of them didn't have any hats on their head. And then they came back to Portland, and this was Christmas Eve, and they did sort of a Burnside on Christmas Eve thing, and about half those people didn't have anything on their heads. And I thought, well, you know, I could make a few hats, and so my few got multiplied and carried away.
This is what she means by carried away. 35 pounds of knitting, 250 plus hats, no two alike. In a few days, an agency will be passing them out to the homeless in the Burnside area.
I think I'm going to have to find a whole new bunch of friends, though. I've completely cleaned out everybody's yarn supply. The neighborhood scrounger.
Lee Cole still will be knitting. The sight of bare heads in cold weather is fixed in her mind. Ray Summers at large.
Thanks for joining us tonight. The Blazers are next.
Tonight we celebrate the Northwest on Channel 8's PM Magazine, live from downtown Portland. Hi, I'm Jack McGowan. Welcome to a very special edition of PM Magazine.
And I'm Teresa Richardson. Tonight we celebrate the lighting of the Morrison Street Bridge. And behind me, the lights were just barely turned on. You can't see any lights at this point. It takes the lights about 15 minutes to warm up. So in about 15 minutes, they'll be fully illuminated. You'll have to hold on until then.
The weather has cooperated.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
heavens
not
this wasn't
bad.
like it was Wednesday night. The weathermen cooperated. It's cold and clear. There's a big crowd at Waterfront Park enjoying the festivities, and people are enjoying the holiday season. They're having some refreshments. The Salvation Army brass band is playing, and everyone is getting into the holiday spirit. We hope you are too.
That's right. Well, you know, it's a perfect time to light up the bridge, you know, for the holidays. And to keep in touch with the holiday season, we're going to be asking a few special guests on our show tonight. Who knows, we might even bring Santa along.
Let's see what happens. You know, there's been a lot of people helping out to get this thing together, a lot of volunteers. One of them is appropriately called the Willamette Light Brigade. Now, they're the folks that originally started the ball rolling on this. They had the kind assistance of the city of Portland, the Multnomah County people. They came in on board, and also two very special unions that I'd like to mention right now. One is the National Electrical Contractors of America, and the other is the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 48. Our thanks to everybody for this special night.
Well, that's a mouthful. Quite an undertaking, all of these groups coming together to bring this off successfully. And as you can see behind me, the lights are just starting to come on.
Oh, there
it's
you
really
go.
Starting to light up the bridge very nicely. Well, you know, I came down earlier this week to the bridge side as the electrical crews were putting the finishing touches on the lights. Local electrical crews spent the week putting the 2-foot square beacons in place in time for tonight's lighting ceremony and the holidays. The 38 lights line both sides of the bridge. Each light weighs 124 pounds and is 1,000 watts. More impressively, 1 million candle power.
It lights up the whole river. I would imagine the fish will be able to see to eat off the bottom of the river. The light will be so bright down in the bottom of the river when they're on. But it is a beautiful lighting job.
But Ed Barnes of the Electrical Workers Union says they're not so bright that traffic will be blinded.
No, they're having crews that are going to spot the lights to make sure that there'll be no reflection over on Front Avenue or on I-5.
The whole idea to light the Morrison Bridge is the brainchild of the Willamette Light Brigade, a group of local citizens and politicians. They took their idea to two unions, the Electrical Contractors and Electrical Workers for help. NECA and IBEW number 48 gave the green light and the greenbacks to set the project in motion. It's costing $78,000 just to install.
I think it's a tremendous opportunity for us to show our appreciation to to the people of the city of Portland for using this over the last 75 years.
These lights may be new to Portland, but they're not new to fixtures around the world. These lights are the same ones that are manufactured and used to illuminate the Eiffel Tower in Paris. The Light Brigade hopes this is just the first step in giving Portland a more international flair. It is planning to light all other bridges spanning the Willamette River, one a year. Well, we should mention that the lights are going to be on permanently. They're not on just for the holidays. I've had a lot of people ask me that. They are going to be on 365 days a year, 7 days a week. Whenever it gets dark, those lights will pop right on.
Now, as you can see behind us, the bridge illumination is starting to reach its peak. These kind of lights don't come on immediately. It takes 2 or 3 minutes for them to actually warm up, and once they get going, watch out. You know, they call us the Willamette River. They call us River City here. It's about time we started lighting up our bridges. I think it's a great idea.
That's right. Matter of fact, as we mentioned in the story, that the Willamette Light Brigade hopes to light one bridge a year, so we've got another 9 years before all of the bridges will be lighted. They chose the Morrison Street Bridge for a couple of reasons. For one thing, this is the 100th anniversary of the Morrison Street Bridge, and also a cost factor. It was probably the least expensive to light at this point, and as we mentioned, $78,000 just to install these lights.
You know, I bet this is triggering a lot of people wondering if they can join the Willamette Light Brigade. You probably can. I wouldn't doubt it.
I'm sure they'll be taking donations. I'm sure they'd be very happy to take your money.
You know, that's what's so great about Portland. You wouldn't expect this in another city. People in other cities, I mean this, they get so blasé, they get so complacent about the city, and Portlanders, boy bless them, they're just a bunch of great folks, and we get things done around here. Look at Pioneer Square. It was the same thing.
That's right, and this is just another great example. And we will be back in just a couple of minutes. We have more of the lighting ceremony. We're live from downtown Portland at the Waterfront Park, and we'll be back with more of Channel 8's PM Magazine in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us. Welcome back to Channel 8's PM Magazine. We're live from Waterfront Park. We're celebrating the lighting of the Morrison Street Bridge. We have a good crowd out tonight.
We sure do. A lot of happy people. There's a lot of happy people watching, too. We have a friend right now, actually a guest who doesn't need much of an introduction. Everyone knows him as a Santa Claus. Hi, Santa.
Hi, how are you?
Very good.
Hey, what do you think of the lights?
Oh, I think they're magnificent. It's just gorgeous this year. This is wonderful.
Santa, a lot of kids out there, they're wondering about Christmas, you know, coming up. How are the elves doing up in the North Pole? Everything going according to plan?
It's going very smoothly. The elves are hard at work. We're right on schedule. We'll be ready for Christmas. It's just great.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Well, you'd certainly be happy to know that Channel 8 is doing their part for the Channel 8 Toy Drive. We've had numerous people, numerous viewers come down to the station and drop off their toys, and it certainly helps to make people in this area, less fortunate people in this area, have a lot brighter Christmas.
Look at the toys in front of that tree. Now, these have all been donated by local business people, local individuals, really getting into Christmas the way that it should be, because Christmas is a time of sharing. Now, the toy and joy makers are going to be helping out, too. They'll be distributing these toys to needy boys and girls throughout the Portland area right up to Christmas time, so you still have time to come down to the lobby of KGW at 1501 Southwest Jefferson, donate a toy for Christmas.
And you can drop off an unwrapped gift at G.I. Joe's as well if you can't make it down to the Channel 8 studios.
Hey, Santa, we've got a great story for you. This is a wonderful story about a woman in Beaverton.
Okay.
And this woman decided that she wanted to do something to help Portland's homeless.
Whoa, that sounds like a good thing to do.
And what she does is she knits hats for the homeless as kind of a special Christmas gift.
Watch
Here
this.
she is.
Lee Cole's knitting needles fly faster than Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, and Vixen. She's trying to knit as many hats as she can by Christmas time.
No one knows me without my knitting needles anymore.
Lee revved up her knitting needles last Christmas. While watching the evening news, she saw street people standing out in the cold without hats. Right then and there, Lee decided to do something about it. Her goal was 100 hats by this Christmas.
My few hats turned into all my friends giving me their scraps of yarn, and so now it's 250 hats. I just keep going.
Lee has become the Mad Hatter of Beaverton. Her husband lovingly calls her his nitwit. The click of her needles is heard in the car, the airport, and in the hospital before and after her gallbladder operation.
They just sort of happen. I never know what they're going to look like when I start, and then I just sort of, they just evolve.
They come in every color of the rainbow. No two are alike, and each one is topped off with a Christmas greeting. A lot of drop one, pearl twos have gone into this pile of hats, and plenty of love, too. Right before Christmas, they'll be delivered to the Burnside Project. Lee Cole's Christmas creations will make the holidays happier and a little warmer for Portland's homeless.
Oh, I won't stop. I'll just keep going.
Every city needs a lot more people like Lee. Keep up the good work, Lee.
Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment with more live coverage of Channel 8's PM Magazine from the seawall right in downtown Portland. We'll be right back.
Warm Christmas gift to Portland's homeless community. Well, today she delivered 250 hand-knitted hats of every size, shape, and color. Mrs. Cole used every free moment with her knitting needles, even in the hospital the day following gallbladder surgery. It's a gift from the heart.
I've enjoyed this more than I've ever knit before. It's because when you knit things for your children and your grandchildren, there's about a 50% chance they'll never be worn. But I figured these would be used, and so I did it.
But even as generous donations continue to trickle in, officials at local social service agencies say...
Of course, I worked on from Christmas Eve 1986 until December the 6th, 1987. There's 246 hats of every shape, size, and color, made of all kinds of scrap yarn. I ought to have another half a dozen before Christmas. This represents a lot of knit one, purl one. These hats have been made on airplanes, in cars, on boats, in the hospital. You name it, I made them. This is the ladies' gallery over here, the pink hats. There's no two alike, as far as I can tell. Some of them are kind of similar, but I think I managed to get them all a little bit different. Some of them are gaudy and some of them are really quite pretty. I can cruise down Burnside Street and no telling what I'll see.